Hi, this is Prathami. Welcome back to part 2 of our Django tutorial. In the last video, we explored what Django is, why it's used, and how it compares to other frameworks, and even discussed the MVT architecture and ORM. Now, it's time to get hands-on and put that knowledge into action. In this part, we'll start building our blog website step by step, setting up Django, configuring project files, and working with Django's powerful admin panel. So if you're ready, let's dive in. Our goal here is to build a blog website where users can CRUD, that is, create, read, update, and delete posts. We'll use Django's admin panel to manage blog content easily. In this Django project for beginners, we are not going to make use of the special editors like PyCharm or VS Code. So, to build our blog website application locally, we will be using the following things. First, Notepad for writing the code. Second, command prompts for giving commands to Django. Third, internet connection is required. And fourth, we'll make use of the web browser. Now, let's get practical and begin with setting up Django. We will follow these steps to create our Django blog website project. They are: first step is to set up the development environment. Here, we install Python virtual environment and Django. The second step is to create a new Django project. Here, we create Django project and run the development server. The third step is to create a Django app. Here, we create the Django app, define models, that is the database, then make changes to the admin file, and then run migrations. The fourth step is to create views and templates. So here we create views, configure URLs, create templates, and then test the applications. Since we are going to use the Django's admin panel, so our fifth step will be to create the superuser for Django. So let's begin. The first step is to set up the environment. First, install Python. Make sure you have Python installed on your system. To check this, you have to open command line interface on your computer and start typing the following commands. That is Python -version and say enter. If Python isn't installed, download it from www.python.org/downloads. Once it is downloaded, install it by following the instructions. And don't forget to check the option to add python.exe to path. Next, you install virtual environment. Installing virtual environment is optional but recommended. Virtual environments help isolate project dependencies. There are two ways to install virtual environment. One is you can use the virtual environment which comes with Python inbuilt, or you can use the separate package for which you have to download it from internet. We will download a virtual environment for our project here. So you can just type in the command line pip install virtual env to first install the virtual environment package. This command will download virtual environment package from the internet and will take some time, and you will see few lines of code, and in the end it will say successfully installed. And then you have to create and activate virtual environment. To create virtual environment, you should type in the command line virtual env venv, virtual env space venv. And then to activate, we should type venv /scripts with capital S /activate and enter. On Mac, you can use source space venv /bin/activate and enter. Another way to use virtual environment is the one that comes with Python inbuilt. For that, you just have to create virtual environment by using the command python space -m venv space env, and then activate using the command env \scripts with capital S \activate and enter. So to deactivate, you can just type in the command deactivate and enter. It will get deactivated. For now, keep it activated. Once the virtual environment is activated, install Django, downloading it from internet by typing the command in the command line pip space install space Django. Please note that error might be raised at this time if your computer is not connected to internet. So check your internet connection. To install Django will take some time, and you will see many lines of code running in the command line interface, and at the last you will see successfully installed with so and so version of Django. Next step is to create Django project. A Django project is the entire web application that contains configurations, settings, and multiple apps. It acts as a container for one or more Django apps. It includes files like settings.py, urls.py, wsgi.py, and asgi.py, which define how the applications work. It is created using the command Django-admin space start project space project name. Project name can be anything. Let me give name as my project here for our project. After that, you have to enter that project directory using the command cd my project. After creating the project, you have to change the directory to my project using the cd command. That is because when you run your project, error might be raised saying module not found. Also note that creating new project directory will generate several files and directories. To see them, just follow the path in your command line. For example, I'm using here D drive, so my project is in D drive. You will find my project directory and manage.py file. If you further open my project directory, you will find few more files. Here's the quick overview. Manage.py is the command line utility for managing the project, that is run server, migrations, creating the superuser, etc. Settings.py contains all the configurations like database settings, security settings, installed apps, middleware, etc. urls.py is where we define the URL mappings for our app and connect them to views. Models.py defines database structure using Django ORM modules. Views.py contains the business logic of the app, handling requests and returning responses. Admin.py registers model for Django's built-in admin panel. Templates contains HTML files for rendering front-end views. wsgi.py and asgi.py are entry points for web servers. Now, you have to check if everything is set up correctly by running the development server. For that, you should type in the command line python space manage.py space run server. You might get an error here if the Django framework is not installed properly. So good thing will be to install it properly. So after that, open a browser and visit http://127.0.0.1:8000/. If everything is set up correctly, then you should be able to see the Django welcome page like this. You can also use localhost :8000 to break the session. You can use control break or control C. Now, inside your project directory, create Django app. A Django app is a modular and reusable component inside a project. Each app handles a specific functionality such as user authentication, blog, e-commerce, or chat system. It contains files like models.py, views.py, urls.py, templates folder, static folder. Django app can be created using the command python space manage.py space start app space app name and include your app in the main project. Let us give the app name as blog, and this app should be included in the main project. Now how to do that? For that, go to settings.py file and add blog in the installed apps list. This will tell Django to recognize and manage your app. Remember, when adding blog to installed apps list, name should be correct, blog. Blog in single inverted quotes and comma, and not blogs with S, which might cause error while referring to this app. The main files in the app are views.py for logic and models.py for database structures. Views and models I just discussed in the earlier section in MVT architecture. You will now see the following directory structure. To view them, use commands dir or go to my computer directly. You will see blog, my project, db.sqlite3, manage. Further, if you open blog directory, you will see migrations, folder, init file, admin, apps, models, test, and views. Inside my project directory, you will see the following, that is pycache folder, then init, asgi, settings, urls, and wsgi. Next thing we should do is define models. This is like creating a database schema. For that, open the models.py file inside the blog app and define a simple model by typing this code. This code defines a database table model for storing blog posts using Django's ORM, Object Relational Mapping. First, it should import Django's database module. In this line, from django.db import models, from is used to import something from a module. Django.db, this refers to Django's database module, which allows interaction with databases. Import models. Import is a keyword to import something. Here it imports Django's models module, which provides tools to define database structures. Next is it defines a model that is nothing but a database table. In this line, class posts in parenthesis models.model : class. This is a keyword used to define a new class which represents the database table. Post, this is the name of our model, that is a database table, and you can name it anything. Models.model inherits from Django's models.model class, meaning this class will act as a database table. Next is to define the columns in the table, that is title equal to models.char field in parenthesis max length equal to 200. In simple terms, this creates a column in the database where we store blog post titles, and each title can be up to 200 characters long. Next column is the content, which is equal to models.text field. This creates another column where we store the actual blog post content, like an article or description. Then there is another column, created at, which is equal to models.datetime field, and in parenthesis you have an argument, that is auto now add equal to true. This helps us to keep a track of when each blog post was created. Then you have a function also, that is def underscore underscore str underscore underscore self, return self dot title. So in this, def underscore underscore str underscore underscore self defines how the object, or that is the blog post, should be represented as a string. Then it returns self dot title, that returns the blog post title which we print or view the object. Self here refers to the current object of the class. Note, this code is to be written in models.py using the notepad. Since here I have not used any special editors like PyCharm or VS Code, many errors might pop up. So write the code as it is and use 4 spaces for tabs. After making models, you should register in admin.py file, writing the code like this, where post is the name of our database table. What if we have 2 or 3 tables? Suppose if we have 2 tables, say post and comment, we have to write the code like this by mentioning all the models or table names separated by comma in the import line. Then register them one by one like this. After defining your models, you need to run migrations to create the necessary database tables. So for this, you have to type in the command line python space manage.py space make migrations and hit enter. If successful, you should get this message in the command prompt. Once you get this, you can use the command python space manage.py space migrate and enter. You get this message in the command prompt saying applying blog.0001 initial OK. This means your database creation is successful. Now you have to create views and the templates. To create view, open the views.py file in the blog app and create a simple view to display blog post. For that, you should write this code in the views.py file. In this line, from Django.shortcuts, import render. We import render, which is a function that helps display an HTML page with data. From .models import post imports the post model blog post database table from models.py, so we can retrieve blog post. def index in parenthesis request. This defines a function called index, which handles what happens when a user visits the home page. The request parameter represents the HTTP request, what the user sends when they open the web page. In this line, post equal to post.object.all, open close parenthesis, post.objects.all. Post refers to our blog post model, that is a database table. .objects.all retrieves all blog posts stored in the database. And we store the fetched blog post in a variable called post, so we can use them later. In this line, return render request blog / index.html post post in flower brackets. Return render. This function loads an HTML page blog / index.html and sends the post data to it. Blog / index.html, this is the file that will display the blog post. And post in inverted comma post in flower brackets. This sends the post data to the template, so we can show blog post on the web page. So if you see the full process in simple terms, the user visits the home page. Django calls the index function. The function fetches all blog posts from the database. it sends the blog post to the index.html template. The HTML page displays the post to the user. The next thing you should do here is to configure URLs. To do this, in the main urls.py file, add the path to your app like this. Why URLs are needed? URLs, that is Uniform Resource Locators, are required to define the paths of web pages in a Django project. When a user types a URL, for example, example.com/blog/, Django looks at the URL patterns list to find a matching pattern and then calls the corresponding view function. The line from Django.urls import path, this imports Django's path function, which is used to define URL patterns. From blog import views, this imports the views.py file from the blog app, which contains functions that define what happens when a user visits a URL. URL patterns creates a list called URL patterns. Django looks at this list to match URLs to views. In the line path admin.site.urls, admin, this URL path is reserved for the Django admin panel. Admin.site.urls, this includes all admin related URLs automatically. Path blog, views.index. In this, blog means that if the user visits example.com blog, Django will call the index function from the views.py. Views.index, this refers to function named index inside views.py, which handles what content should be shown for blog. Why do we need urls.py? We need urls.py because it maps URLs to views. This tells Django which function should handle a specific page request. And second thing is it organizes the project. Instead of writing logic in one big file, we separate it into views.py and urls.py. And the third thing we need this urls.py is it allows reusable apps. If you create a Django app, you can easily include its URLs inside a larger project. The next thing is to create templates. So inside the blog app, create templates/blog directory and add an HTML file. What you should do exactly is to go to blog directory. Inside that blog directory, you have to create a templates directory, and inside that templates directory, you have to create blog directory again, blog folder again, and inside that blog directory, create the HTML file called index.html and write this HTML code. Here, in flower brackets, percentage for post in post, percentage loops through each blog post. And in flower brackets, post.title displays the post title, and in flower brackets, post.content displays the post content. The last thing you should do in this step is to test the application. So run the development server to see the post by typing in the command line this command python space manage.py space run server, and then in the browser open localhost :8000 port /blog/ to view the blog post. And here's your blog posts. Now, how to add more blog posts? You can do this by using the Django admin panel or via the Django shell. For now, we will use the Django admin panel, but before using the Django admin panel, we have to create the superuser. Creating the superuser can be done using the command in the command line python space manage.py space create superuser. You will be asked to enter the details like username, email address, and password. You can use any username, non-existing email ID, and can surpass the rule for password, as you can create multiple superuser. But remember, if you forget your password, you cannot retrieve it if the email ID is non-existing. So the choice is yours. Once the superuser is created successfully, start the development server in the command line saying python space manage.py space run server, and open the web browser and navigate to 127.0.0.1 port /admin/ or you can use localhost :8000 port /admin/ and you will get this window. You have to log in with the superuser just created and you will be taken to this web page. From this Django interface, you can add more posts, modify it, delete it, and also see the recent actions. For example, you can add first post and second post along with its contents by clicking on add like this. And now you can view it on your web browser typing this URL. And here's your blog post. So there you have it. We have successfully built a Django web application to display blog posts and perform CRUD operations using Django's powerful built-in admin panel. With just a few lines of code, we leveraged Django's efficiency to manage our content effortlessly. But this is just the beginning. Now that your blog is up and running, the next step is to host it on Python Anywhere, making it accessible to the world. And if you want to take your web app to the next level, consider adding an authentication system to allow users to register, log in, and even create their own blog posts securely. Django makes web development faster, easier, and more scalable. And I hope this video has given you a strong foundation to build your own projects. Keep experimenting, keep learning, and soon you'll be building amazing real-world applications with Django. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more such tutorials. Also, if you'd like notes on this tutorial, just type in the comments Django notes along with your email ID and I'll send them to you. And if you were successful in creating your first Django app from this video, just comment success below and I'd love to hear about your progress. Thanks for watching and see you soon. Until then, happy coding.